So hello, welcome to our running hub stretching class for tonight. If you're joining live, then so nice to see you all. Yeah, hopefully you're going to feel much better and stretched out after the next half an hour. So for tonight's practice, we're going to need just a blanket or a couple of cushions. That's it for this one. So just one of the poses to support the knees towards the end of the practice. So if you don't have that to hand now, then grab something soft that you can use underneath the knees. And then we're going to make a start in child's pose. Checking these are all on still. Okay. So coming down to your mat. Take your knees wide. Let the hips just sink back on the heels. Big toes touch. And if this doesn't feel comfy for the knees, then keep some space lifted. In a moment, we're going to bring the chest forward and the head forward. And if knees don't feel great there, then you keep the hips slightly higher. So to begin with, inhale, draw your shoulders up close to your ears, roll them back and down. You can do that one more time if it feels good. In through the nose, breathe in, out through the mouth. And then exhale, start to walk your hands forwards. There's still a little bit of a focus on the hips today, but more of an all-rounder for lower body. As you soften your head, your neck, your chest down towards the floor, maybe the forehead touches. If it does, then great. Let that floor beneath you take the weight of your head. If it doesn't, then you could use a pillow, a cushion, blankets, or your hands to keep your head lifted. It can be really nice and supportive for the head, particularly if you're feeling stuffy or blocked in the sinuses at any point you want to come down to child's pose. It can feel quite nice to have some support for the forehead in particular. So either keeping lifted here or arms extended, but with a soft bend in the elbows. Maybe reaching forward through your arms, through your fingertips, and then softening again, just seeing how your body feels this evening or whatever time of day you are doing this practice. Closing the eyes or soften through your eyelids, maybe just dropping your gaze down. Seeing if you can ease a little bit more into the hips. And when we start to open through parts of the body that perhaps are feeling a little bit tight, a little bit stiff and sticky, it's a totally natural response here to have the muscles contract. And we kind of hold it. And it's like, oh, this is a bit difficult. This is a bit uncomfortable. And then we may actually be contracting some muscles in the area that we want to relax. So that takes time. But as you're easing here, just notice, just see if you are holding any tension or contraction, perhaps as an automatic reaction here to opening the hips. If you are, then try and notice that, acknowledge it, breathe into that space and let it go. Breathing in and out through your nose if you can. Taking 3 more steady breaths here, trying to establish a steady rhythmic breathing pattern. In through the nose, out through the mouth, if that feels better for you today. But shifting your awareness to your breath. On your next inhale, blink your eyes open. Extend your arm forwards, lift your head slightly if your arms weren't already extended. Lift up onto your fingertips. So we're pressing a little bit more into the side body. Let your chest soften and melt down towards the floor. One breath in and out. Next inhale, shift your body weight forward. Plant your hands down into the floor. Tabletop pose. So hands directly beneath your shoulders, knees beneath your hips. Let's move through cat-cow. Inhale, drop your belly, chest pulls through. Hands are planted firmly into the floor. Your inner elbows face in, directly towards each other. Press the floor away, pull your chest through as you lift up, look up, tailbone tilting up towards the ceiling. Exhale, round down, tuck your chin to your chest, curl your tailbone under, press the floor away as you arch through the spine. Keep your eyes open. Inhale, lift up, look up, moving back through to cow pose. And continue here, moving with the pace of your breath. Inhale for cow pose, exhale for cat pose. And each time, try and create a bit more movement A little bit more flexion when we're in cat pose. So this is the arching of the back, a little bit more extension as we drop the belly down and we look up in cow pose. You're going to take 2 more rounds. So here in cat-cow, we're always warming up the spine, the neck, the shoulders, the arms. We're creating movement through the core areas of the body, and we're also linking movement with breath. Then come to stillness once you've taken those 2 rounds. Extend your left foot back. So make sure there's nothing behind you. You're going to kick. So step in your left foot back, lifting up your left heel. So it's just curling down the toes here, the knees off the ground as well. So your right knee stays where it is, but we're rocking back, creating some movement, shifting forward, shifting back through your left leg. Pause here if it feels good. If you're working through any stretching that feels nice into the ankle, the calf, and then switch it out. Left foot comes down, left knee, sorry, comes down to the mat, take the right leg back. So doing the same again, pausing at the back as you really press the heel back if that feels comfortable. If it doesn't, then don't do it. Just keep moving forwards and back. Getting to know how the legs feel today. Maybe one more, rocking forward and backwards, and then right knee comes down to the floor. So back in our tabletop, walk the hands forward. We're keeping the hips stacked over the knees. The chest melts down towards the floor, finding puppy dog pose. You might want to come onto forearms, and this might be enough. It might feel better to extend the arms with a soft bend, palms down onto the mat, and you start to lower the chest down. Maybe the chin connects to the mat, maybe it doesn't. So you pause where feels good, but we're deeply stretching into the side body, into the upper arms, the shoulders, hips high. Exhale, release. Come back through to tabletop. Take your hands a pace forward, slightly wider than shoulders. Fingertips spread wide. Create some firm gripping and positioning in your fingertips. So we've got this solid base through the hands. Curl your toes under. Inhale, lift your knees. Pause, hover. Breathe in, breathe out. Shoot your hips up high. And here, think about tilting your tailbone up towards the ceiling. We want nice high hips for downward facing dog. And move to the left side, the right side. See how the back of the legs feel. The upper body, we're starting to stretch and open things up a little bit here. Yoga is all about creating this connection to your body, building body awareness through breath and movement. So that's what we want to nourish. We want to focus on that each time, paying attention to what your body is trying to tell you about how it feels. And then come to stillness, drive, and drop the heels down. Maybe they touch the floor, maybe they don't. Either option is good. Keep a bend in the knees, hips high, press down through your hands. Gaze back to the space between your legs as you press chest to thighs. Inhale, look towards your hands. Step your right and your left feet forwards as many times as you need to come to the front of your mat. Head is low, hips stacked over your knees, bending in your knees too, and your feet are apart. Take a grip of opposite elbows, sway to the left and the right here. And this movement is through the spine and not through the hips. So try and keep the hips steady and level to the front of your mat. We're releasing through the back. Again, find stillness, release the grip of the elbows, fingertips to the floor, press the floor away, breathe your belly in, roll up nice and slow. All the way to mountain pose. Nice work, good start everyone. So mountain pose, Tadasana, shoulders away from the ears, arms heavy and strong by your sides. We think about mountain pose building from the ground up. So find your firm placement in your feet. So we want the body weight back in your heels. The weight is back. Lift your kneecaps. You're engaging the front of your legs. Try and lengthen through the spine, maybe slightly tilting the pelvis under. Nice and strong through your core, squeezing into your abdominals. Chest pressing open, shoulders back, palms forward. Breathe in and out. One more breath. On your next inhale, raise your arms up nice and high. Right hand to your left wrist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach to the right side of your room. And here, think about rolling your left shoulder back. I'll just turn to face you. So we're opening through the chest. Really easy here to kind of have this rounding forward. It's going to pull into your back in the, not the wrong place, but not the focus that we're looking for today. So you inhale to lengthen, exhale, reach over to the right side of your room. Press your left foot down, kick your left hips out to the left side and change, release. Switch out your hand grip, left hand onto right wrist. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, reach. Lifting, reaching, extending, stretching from your right fingertips all the way down to your right foot. Right hips kicking out to the side, lengthen, reach, breathe in and out, release. Let the arms fall heavy by your side, take a breath. Inhale, raise your arms overhead once more, let the palms press. Lengthen, look up towards your thumbs. Press your feet down, press your hips forward. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands through center of chest. Hinging at the hips with a flat back. So your hips shoot backwards and you're extending your legs towards straight. We're in a halfway fold. Hips over knees, over ankles. Breathe in and out. Standing forward fold. Take your hands onto the back of your legs. Just going to take more of a gentle fold here as we're just warming up, coming to the end of the warm-up part of our sequence. So press the legs down, hands find the back of your legs, or maybe on the arms, you're taking a grip of opposite elbows, but you lift, breathe in, breathe belly to spine and pull. Try to straighten your legs. Exhale, release. Take your hands down to the floor. We're stepping straight back to downward facing dog today. So right foot back, left foot back, hips high, second down dog of the session. Press your hands down. Think about that positioning of the tailbone lifting up tall. Biceps are by your ears, chest pushing to the space behind you. Look between your legs. Look towards your hands, step your right leg through. Come into a low lunge. So your left foot and knee can reach the floor. So they're connecting down to the mat. Take your hands onto your right thigh. So right knee over right ankle, hips level. I say it most times in our classes here, but really easy when we have one leg doing something else, the hips want to swing to one side or the other. And in yoga, it's a really nice opportunity to find balance in the hips. We can sometimes find our pelvis gets out of balance just with everyday life. So really nice opportunity to try and bring that more into balance and build on the stability of the pelvis that's already there. So pressing into where feels good here. The top of your left foot is on the floor. Deeply stretching into the front of your left hip, into your quads. Hold for one more breath in and out. Lovely stuff. Ease off. Take your hands to the floor. Lift up onto your left toes. So you're lifting your back knee off the floor, left knee lifts off the floor. Plant your left foot down. So your foot is turned in around 45 degrees. We're finding warrior one pose. So keeping this big bend in your right knee, inhale and sweep your arms up high. Hips are tracking more to the front than the side. They might be at a diagonal, maybe to the corner of your mat if you're on a mat. Hands up, reaching towards the ceiling, breathing in and out. Now take your hands behind you, sweep them behind, take a grip of opposite elbows behind you. So mid-back area, maybe in the curve of your back. Hands onto elbows, opposite side, so you're pulling open in the chest, let the shoulders roll back. Nice breath in and out. Take your hands onto your hips, step your left foot to your right foot at the top of your mat. Gonna have a little play here with a single leg balance, standing bow, but a version that's really building on a quad stretch, and you've probably done this many times. So I will turn to face you so you can see feet and legs are together. Hands onto hips. Take your right elbow into your waist. You're going to take a catch of your right foot if you can. If you can't, then just bend your right knee and lift up the right foot, and you can send the arm back in that direction. Use anything around you for balance here if you need, okay? Right knee glued into your left knee. So you're squeezing, contracting your inner thighs and the front of your legs to keep this connection. Lift your left kneecap. Engage through your quads on the left side, press your left foot down. Option here to keep your left hand on your hip, or you might want to reach your left arm up high towards the ceiling. When you found that position, keep an eye on something in front of you to focus. We're starting to deepen the stretch. You can absolutely stay where you are, or you can start to drive your right knee back behind you. You open a little more through the shoulder, so your right foot moves to the space behind you. We're creating a C curve with the spine. So introducing a little bit more of a back bend here, pulling into the front of your right leg. Keep the right knee in close into the midline. We don't want it winging out too far to the side. Breathe in and out. Release. Right leg coming down to the floor. Mountain pose. Keep focused, keep composed here. Inhale, arms up, palms press. Lift, lengthen, stand up tall. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Come all the way down to the floor till your fingertips reach the mat. Inhale, lift halfway, halfway standing fold. Breathing belly to spine, extend through your legs, working towards straight legs here. Deep flexion of the hips. Inhale, exhale, forward fold, taking hands onto the back of your legs or stepping your heels into your hands or taking a grip of your elbows, whatever position here feels good for you. As you inhale to lengthen, exhale, fold, belly onto thighs, head low. And now release, take your hands down to the floor. We are stepping back this time to plank pose. So right leg and then left leg, finding whichever version works for you, either a knee plank or a full high push-up position. Hands directly beneath your shoulders, really firm, strong hands, shoulders, arm position. Breathe in and out. Then lower down all the way to the floor till your belly, your chest reaches the mat. Inhale, lift. Press down with your hands, tops of the feet, press down into the floor. Squeeze your glutes, engage your back body to lift your chest. Exhale, release. Inhale, curl your toes under, press the floor away with both hands, lift your hips back up to downward facing dog. Staying here just for one breath. Strong arms, strong legs, hips high, head low, biceps by the ears as you press the floor away. Look towards your hands, step your left leg through. So low lunge here on the left side. And you can stay low in your low lunge. You could come up here with both hands on your front left leg, taking a notice of these hips. What are they doing? Has your right hip swung out to the right side? If it has, track it back. Keeping this awareness of the bones of the joints where they are. This helps us so much in our training, in running, and just how we move off the mat. Staying here for 2 more breaths, whether you've got hands to the floor or hands on your front leg. Then ease off, take your hands down to the mat, curl up your toes on the right side so you're lifting your right knee off the floor. Plant your right foot into the mat to find a position that works with the foot turned in. Press the floor away with both feet, squeeze the thighs together, breathe your belly in to engage the core as you press up, lift up to warrior one. Hips tracking more to the front or just to the right diagonal this time, arms up high. Take your hands, this time we're not going behind us, but out to the side for cactus arms. So exhale and try and press the space behind you. So back of hands pressing back, stretching into the pectorals, the chest. Breathe in and out. Take your hands to your hips. Right foot meets left. We're going to take that quad stretch, standing bow variation, this time on the left side. So feet together, arms by your side. Breathe in and out. Take your hands to your hips. Left hand comes out to the side, palm up. Kick and catch your left foot if you can. So we do have some options here, either catching the foot or not. Maybe using the wall or something near you for balance if that feels good. Left knee squeezes into your right. So really active through your right leg and your inner left thigh. Find your balance. Find something you can keep an eye on here to help you hold focus. Perhaps extending, reaching your right fingertips up towards the ceiling. And if you're ready, if you'd like to go further here, then we start to move power into the gluteals here to power the left leg back. The left leg kicks back and your right, left shoulder starts to roll back behind you. The chest comes through. Kicking back into hand, foot to hand. Pausing wherever feels like your edge today, your maximum for this pose. Ensuring that the left knee doesn't wing out too much to the left side, so keeping it close to the midline of your body. Breathe in and out. Good work. Left foot comes back down to the mat. So from mountain pose, we're going to have a little work into the ankles and calves. So let's heel toe the feet apart. So when we want feet directly beneath the hips, it's around a gap of 2 fists, and you can check that if you need to. So we're looking for this sort of comfortable gap, so your feet are on a train track like a number 11. First of all, doing some leg raise, calf raises, lifting the heels off the floor. So find something in front of you to focus. Once you feel like you've got there, you've got a strong start position, inhale and lift both heels off the floor. You're lifting them up, working into the front of the foot, engaging through the calves, the back of the lower legs. Breathe in and out, lower down. We're going to do it 3 more times. Inhale to breathe. Inhale, breathe in and lift the heels. Exhale, lower down. You can go in your own time whenever feels good. Inhale, lift the heels. Hold just for a beat and then exhale, lower down. Final one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. So that's the final quick one. I did tell a little lie there. We've got one more. We're holding it for 3 breaths. Inhale, lift the heels when you are ready. So working deep into the ankle. This is stabilizing and strengthening your ankle joint, working into the toes, the front of the feet. Try and hold focus here. You're staying for 2 more steady breaths. Nice and slow. If you wobble, shake, fall out, it doesn't matter. Come straight back in. Final breath in and out. Strong work. Now with your heels planted down to the floor, hands on hips or wherever they feel good for you. That's naturally my default, but go with wherever works. Hips, I'd like your weight back. So your knees are going to start to bend. So feet are on the floor, heels stay connected. Hips over your heels. And then your knees are starting to bend forwards, tracking over both feet. So knees are parallel, feet are parallel. And you could lean on something in front of you if this feels better than just doing this pose with hands on hips. But I'd like you to bend the knees and pause, where you can start to feel a stretch into the back of the calves and the ankles. It's going to be different for all of us. Obviously, we're limited here by the bone-to-bone connection. We're not going to be going super low in this pose, but hold it for just 1 breath. Exhale, release. You can do that twice more. Inhale, bend the knees. Hold here for 1 breath and then you can exhale. So go in your own time. Keep the spine straight and keep those knees tracking over your feet. Don't let them knock in. Ease off, final one. When you are ready, bend the knees, hold where feels good. A breath in and out. And then ease off. Lovely. And then as you ease that pressure, it might feel nice to do some ankle circles, point and flex the feet. Do one and then the other. And then coming all the way down to the floor. We're going to have a little stretch into the hips. So this is where you might want a rolled up blanket for the knees. So I'm going to give you some options. We're going to take frog pose. So coming to a tabletop position is a good place to start. And I'll do this. What's the best way? I'll do this to face you. So if you've got any knee sensitivity, definitely straight away place cushions or blankets under your knees. I'm on a bit of a spongy mat here, so that will also take the pressure if you're on the same. So from a tabletop, I'd like you to start to take the knees out to the side. And if this feels too much to do both knees at once, then you can just do one and extend the other leg back. So I'll give you that option in a moment. So in frog pose, you might see this more easily from the side actually. Your knees and your hips are in a line. So although the knees aren't under the hips, they are stacked on top in the same sort of line. So start to take your hands down to the floor. You're going to take a lot of weight through your upper body here. So pausing wherever you can start to feel a stretch in your inner thighs. And then you turn your feet out if it feels comfortable. So they're like little frog's feet. So you're flexing your feet out to the side. It's going to help with the knee position here. If this feels too much to hold on forearms with both knees out, so we're extending through the hips and we're really getting into these deep adductor muscles, so inner thighs tightness that we sometimes feel around the groin area and the front of the legs as well, where this all connects into the quads. If it feels too much, then take one leg straight behind you. Your hips will naturally lower down to the floor. You can just do one leg. If it doesn't feel nice to have those feet flexed, then maybe point them back or soften off too. Another option is bringing the feet together. So we're more in an intense version of child's pose. So we've got the knees out wide, but maybe the toes come together. So you're going to hold it here for 5 more breaths. Rocking the weight forward if you can. So your hips feel central over the same line as your knees. But we don't want any pain, any real discomfort. This can be a strong stretch, not to be confused with discomfort. So you hold it where it feels good. So 2 more breaths here. And then gently easing off. So I find it easier to bring the toes together if they weren't already. Press the floor away, let the knees come in. We're going to just sink back into an embryo pose. So knees come together, sitting back on the heels, lower the head, let the hands go either side of the legs. The arms are just relaxed by the side and we just close things off through the hips. Stay here for 2 breaths. Inhale to lift your head, lift your chest. We're going to come all the way down to the floor so you can slide over onto one side. Lower yourself all the way down, taking a blanket, a cushion if you need. Keep your sole of your left foot on the floor. Just gonna have a little stretch out with a reclined pigeon pose. This is always a nice one. Right ankle over left knee, staying on the floor there or threading your hands through, kicking your sole of your left foot away. Shoulders stay down on the floor. They may have rounded slightly if you've got a catch of the hands behind your left thigh, that's okay. One more breath on this side. Then ease it off. Left foot to the floor, switch it out, opposite side. Left ankle across your right knee, bottom of your right thigh. And we'll do the same on the opposite side. So as always with this pose, you can pull in as much as feels good. It will very quickly start to find a point that you think, oh, okay, it's okay to stay here. One more breath in and out. Uncrossing your legs, let them extend. Full body stretch, reach your arms up above you. Toes pointing away. And then relaxing, final pose to close your practice, corpse pose or your preferred version. So constructed rest might be a nice one for you with the knees knocking in where they're bent, knees pointing up to the ceiling, or we might just want to relax with legs and arms out to either side, holding no tension, letting them fall where they fall. I encourage you here to try and soften through the face, through the eyes. So maybe closing your eyelids if that feels nice. Palms might be up or down, maybe landing onto your lower stomach or wherever. they naturally fall. And now letting any control of the breath that you had during that practice go. So returning to your natural breathing pattern, the natural ebb and flow of your breath in and out. Noticing if you're holding any tension through your shoulders, your hips, your legs. Just without realizing, just try and dial that down for the final few moments of your practice. And either staying where you are or gently moving through hands and feet. Wiggling out through fingers and toes, maybe circling the ankles and wrists. Being nice and easy and slow as you bring the knees in. Gently come onto one side, press yourself through. It's a comfortable seat if you are moving, but you can also stay exactly where you are if that feels nice and you're being left in peace and quiet. Make the most of it. Press down through those sitting bones. Inhale, raise your arms high. Press your palms together, let them fall at the center of your chest and bow your head forward if you like to, or you can pop your hands on your knees and give yourself a big well done. And thanks for coming to your mat to have a stretch out, to balance out your week at the start of your week as well if you're doing this on a Monday. Thank you so much for all of you who've joined me live. That was a really nice practice. Lovely to see you all, and I will see you on the mat again soon. Namaste.
Thanks, Georgie.
You're very welcome. Well done. Thank you.
Thanks.